Major Slack Videos.
Yeah, this is fun.
Shut up, Pee-wee.
Okay.
What do you get when you take Assassin's Creed, Batman, a little bit of Witcher 3, put them all in the same pot, cook out most of the blathering backstory, and pour in 8 metric tons of epic combat? You get Shadow of Mordor. First released in September 2014, never got around to playing it back then, but I am playing it now. In fact, I took the game all the way to a 100% completion.
100% completion. Hold up here. Back it up. Who are you and what have you done with Major Slack?
Yeah, I know. All you hardcore slackers know that I am not a completionist, never have been. I have yet to even 100% complete Skyrim. Not even sure if that's possible actually, but yeah, Shadow of Mordor. So much fun, I just can't get enough. The sequel, Shadow of War, is about to be released in about a month at the time of this recording, a month from now, and I thought now would be a perfect time to finally cover Shadow of Mordor. Now, to this date, no official game guide was ever released for Shadow of Mordor. It's a shame because it's a complex game with a very unusual enemy leveling system where boss enemies in this game will actually level up every time you die. Yep, every time you die, the game essentially gets a little harder. Yeah, that's one heck of a death tax. Okay, Shadow of Mordor, in a nutshell, it's an open world action-adventure game with RPG elements based on Tolkien fantasy storylines like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Now, don't ask me anything about that, I don't know the first thing. I'm just here for the slicing and dicing, and the beheadings, and the 100-hit combos. Yeah, gameplay centers around hacking and slashing in close quarter combat where each successful attack or combat related move is added to a combo counter appearing in the top left corner of the screen. Every time you add a certain number of hits to the combo counter, you get to do a special move. Special moves, which are gradually unlocked by earning XP and working your way down a skill tree, can be mixed and matched to create some absolutely insane, and I mean insane, gameplay. Now, the combo counter in Shadow of Mordor is a lot more forgiving than games like Batman or Assassin's Creed. So for those of you who are not big fans of this type of gameplay, don't worry, it's not that hard to get into. You don't have to be jacked up on 6 pots of espresso coffee to have quick enough reflexes to pull off combos in this game, so don't worry about it, okay? But wait, there's more. Want to slow down and get your stealth on? Shadow of Mordor also offers a ton of stealth gameplay options and moreover has an excellent parkour system that lets you climb up, down, and all around to put a devastating peek and sneak beat down on the bad boys. Don't like the up and close personal approach? You can always go totally sniper with your trusty bow and arrow. And once you unlock some more abilities, this can sometimes have explosive results. You can even use your bow to ride monsters. Then have the monster take one for the team while you hack and slash the bad guys in relative safety. But don't forget to feed them now and then. Keep in mind though, they're not invincible. Whoops, looks like we're gonna have to get a bigger monster. That's what I'm talking about. Hey you there, isn't all that stomping around making you hungry? Why don't you stop and have something to eat? There you go, bon appetit. Don't forget to smile for the camera. Attaboy. Yep, Shadow of Mordor is a great game that I simply did not have time to cover, even though I actually, okay, I admit this, I actually bought it right when it was first released back in November 2014. I actually bought the game right then. But doing real walkthroughs, that's one of the things. With real walkthroughs, they require a lot of practice and study as opposed to blind playthroughs, and it only allows me to do about half a dozen games per year, if that. So as the years go by, a lot of games unfortunately get left behind, and Shadow of Mordor was one of those games. Sorry about that, but I'm finally doing it. I'm doing it now. After reading a lot of comments in the game forums and on other YouTube blind playthroughs, the general consensus is that this is a difficult game, and I would have to agree. But don't get me wrong, it's not so much the combat in general that's difficult. If you level up properly and get some key abilities and develop a rhythm, and with my help of course, you'll be pulling off 60 hit combos in no time. But that's just your everyday Shadow of Mordor combat, okay? You know, like the game throws a veritable regiment of club-wielding orcs at you, and you wipe them all out in the space of a few minutes and you feel like a freaking champion. However, in all of the I believe it's 74 missions in the game. That's 20 main missions and 50 some odd side missions. I would have to say that only a handful of them, like less than 5, actually have you simply wiping out a mob of orcs to complete the mission. The vast majority of the missions, and even simple everyday objectives, such as gathering some intel, require what I call precision combat. Okay? This is where, on top of having to deal with a battalion of bloodthirsty orcs, you have to complete some very specific objectives, like kill 5 guys buried deep in a heavily guarded fort, and you can only use a special sneak attack to kill them, and you have to avoid setting off an alarm, otherwise 6 more regiments of reinforcements will roll in. And worse, on top of all that, the game has a nasty way of frequently popping in these boss enemies known as captains, who are often invulnerable to all your best attacks and will get up in your face. They'll get right up in your face and they will demoralize you, and then they will turn your routine stealth mission into utter chaos. I mean, it's nuts. I'm not kidding, it's totally nuts the way the game does this. And not just one captain at a time, no, you have to get 2, 3, 4 captains all trying to get in on the action. And they just come out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you're in a deep pile of steaming grog dung, surrounded by an army of orcs and a couple of 3 captains, which may as well be Sherman tanks, and one of them has a poison weapon that can wipe out your health bar with a single hit.
How often does this happen, Slack?
All the time. All the freaking time. This game basically defines Murphy's Law. You know, if there's anything that could possibly go wrong, it will. Okay, this game gets up in your face like you wouldn't believe. So, I personally find the game is beautifully balanced. Combat in general is easy enough to make you feel like a superhero, but complex mission objectives and the frequent random appearance of boss enemies, which get even more powerful if they end up killing you, can make this game very challenging. And that's what I love about this game. It definitely rewards a highly strategic approach. And as many of you hardcore slackers know, that's what I'm here for. And that's what the next big batch of videos here on my channel will mainly be focusing on. Like I said, I have 100% completed this game, which means I have completed all the main missions, all the outcast missions, all the weapon legend missions, that's sword, dagger, and bow, all the survival challenges, and all the hunting challenges, the last 2 of which were yeah, that takes some dedication. Plus I maxed out all the resources like health, focus, and elf shot, and acquired all the infinite weapon powers. I have unlocked all the ability tiers, so earning power points is no longer applicable, and I have acquired all the abilities, so earning XP is now completely redundant. Yeah, so needless to say, I have played this game extensively. So those are my credentials, if you will, but please don't start thinking I am henceforth going to play all games to 100% completion. I never do this, and I probably will never do this again. I simply don't have time. Sorry, I'm handicapped enough as it is with all the time and effort required to do real walkthroughs instead of blind playthroughs. And for more information on the difference between a real walkthrough and a blind playthrough, please check my Patreon page, link in the video description. Now, for all you hardcore slackers, this is going to be a very different kind of walkthrough. Instead of simply playing the game from start to finish, I'm first going to focus on a series of how-to and strategy videos, which I feel will be much more useful in getting the average player up and running in the world of Mordor, the random and wild world of Mordor. Like I said, this game has no official game guide. There is an in-game appendices, but that just really gives you the bare bones of how to play, and not only that, it only gets gradually unlocked as you work your way through the game. There's a lot of stuff they don't tell you, and basically stuff you'd have to do a lot of gaming and Googling to figure out. So like I said, that's what I'm here for. There is a lot more to this game than can be covered in a quick introductory video, so this is what's happening on MajorSlackVideos now. Stay tuned for a lot more of Shadow of Mordor. Thanks a lot for watching. Welcome to Shadow of Mordor, and see you next video.